Mark gripped the steering wheel. His knuckles were white. He was late. The minutes seemed to tick by faster than usual, each second a reminder of how close he was to missing it. His sister's wedding was about to start. The thought of her walking down the aisle without him, there was unbearable. He glanced at the clock on the dashboard. 5 minutes. He needed a miracle. The pressure was mounting and he could feel his heart racing. His GPS beeped. The sound was almost mocking in its timing. "Rerouting," a robotic voice declared. "Take Old Mill Road." Mark frowned. He had heard stories about that road. Old Mill Road was a local legend, a shortcut shrouded in whispers, but he was desperate. He had no other choice. He swerved onto the off-ramp. The highway's bustle faded. The silence was almost deafening. Old Mill Road was a tunnel of trees. The branches seemed to reach out like fingers. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the dense canopy. The road ahead was dim and foreboding. A shiver ran down Mark's spine. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The air felt heavy, oppressive. It was as if the forest itself was closing in on him. He pressed on, his anxiety mounting. Every instinct told him to turn back, but he couldn't. Not now. The road narrowed, becoming more desolate with each passing mile. Asphalt gave way to cracked pavement, then gravel, as if the road itself was deteriorating into the past. Mark's car rattled over the uneven surface, each bump jarring his nerves. The GPS signal stuttered, the voice repeating directions like a broken record, adding to his growing frustration. He felt a knot of unease in his stomach, a sense of foreboding that he couldn't shake off. He rounded a bend and slammed on the brakes, heart pounding in his chest. A pickup truck stood sideways, blocking the road, its presence both unexpected and unsettling. It was ancient, rusted, and covered in dust, as if it had been there for decades. Mark cautiously got out of his car, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of life. "Hello?" he called out. Silence. Only the rustling leaves answered, the silence almost deafening. As he approached the truck, it shimmered, an eerie glow surrounding it. The air around it distorted like a heat haze, making it seem almost unreal. Mark blinked, his heart pounding, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. When he opened his eyes, the truck was gone, vanished into thin air. He spun around, searching for any sign of it, but there was nothing. Nothing but the empty road and the desolate landscape. A low hum began to vibrate in the air, growing more intense with each passing second. It was faint at first, then grew steadily louder, filling the air with an ominous presence. It seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere at once, an unsettling sound that defied explanation. The hum wormed its way into Mark's skull, setting his teeth on edge and making his head throb. He felt a surge of primal fear, an instinctual urge to flee. He had to get out of there, and fast. Mark sprinted back to his car, fumbling for his keys, his heart pounding in his chest. The night was eerily silent, save for the distant hum that seemed to grow louder with each passing second. The hum intensified, a chorus of whispers now, murmuring words he couldn't quite decipher. It felt as if the forest itself was alive, watching him, waiting. He threw the car into reverse, tires spitting gravel as he tried to escape the encroaching darkness. He had to get back to the main road, to safety, but the path seemed to stretch endlessly. He glanced at the rearview mirror, hoping to see the familiar road behind him. The road behind him was gone, swallowed by the fog. In its place was an endless expanse of trees, swallowed by an unnatural fog that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. Panic seized him. He was trapped, with no way out. The hum was deafening now, a cacophony of whispers, screams, and laughter that seemed to come from all directions. Mark gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white, his mind racing for a solution. He slammed his foot on the accelerator, the car lurching forward into the unknown, hoping against hope to find a way out. The trees seemed to reach for him, their branches like skeletal fingers clawing at the car as it sped past. The car hurtled forward, the engine screaming in protest. Mark's eyes darted back and forth, searching for an escape, a break in the trees, anything. But there was only the road ahead, stretching endlessly into the heart of the humming darkness. His heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing the relentless rhythm of the hum. He could feel the presence of Old Mill Road closing in on him, suffocating him. The boundaries of reality blurred around him. Will Mark escape the clutches of Old Mill Road, Or will he be consumed by its haunting embrace?